Fuck, I forgot the intro. uh,
You can
yeah,
time it
we'll let it
all.
roll, and that would be funny as hell. But we're just gonna go on. We're gonna soldier through this one. I think everyone's in a little bit of disarray, but we're back. We got Christo, we got Dave. I'm here as always after our extended hiatus that I think has been very much needed. Once we hit about 100 episodes, the season and then just everything else hasn't lined up, but we're back. Christo, you're back. We're back again. How are you feeling?
Not the best. I mean, fucking 2 goals against Monza, bro.
Yeah,
Berlusconi's
yeah,
bald ass.
man. All they had that place packed out too. Those reactions kind of hurt. But Dave, here to suffer with us too, right?
Hey, you know it, man. Always and forever, no matter what. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it's disappointing, especially after the way we did come back. As I was telling you guys off air, during the World Cup, which I barely watched, to be honest. I only mostly watched the round of 16 on. I didn't watch the group stages or whatnot. I kind of like disconnected from football a bit, so like I didn't really think too much about Inter or what we had going on or whatever during the World Cup. But as we came back with this big match against Napoli and the way we did come back and came out with this win, it pulled me right back in, you know, only
Yeah,
for Inter to remind me that Inter is going to enter, like a game that we all would have probably chalked off as an easy 3 points, with newly promoted side. We go and lay an egg, and not just any egg, just a last minute equalizer type of egg, so on some stupid shit. So happy to be back.
we
Also, who scored
return
the
the way that
goal
we
is
depart. No, go ahead, Christo. That was a bad line for me.
not only no, not only that Inter considered fucking Calderola, Inter Primavera player, scored a goal. So that's even
I
worse.
mean, fitting, right? We don't expect any less. I think of DeMarco's screamer with Parma where he ripped his shirt off in San Siro. I mean, there's some ones I heard in there. It's nothing new. I think this season it's just been tough when you don't have the financial backing to do what you need to do. I hate to take it to finances already, but we we see like when you're playing 2 to 3 matches a week, which you're going to be doing in a season like this because you just had a giant chunk ripped out in the middle for the World Cup. They're going to be playing every couple of days, and I mean, they just don't have the bench for it. If you're, we're supposed to, but I mean, when you're still bringing on Gagliardini, some of these other guys that were coming on, and you could just tell the shape wasn't there after
Yeah.
a while. I mean, what can
No,
you do? If this were a one match a week season, I think it'd be different. But when we're
I
in a
don't know, bro. I don't know if I'm ready to give them that bell quite yet. This is literally the second match coming back from the break. So I'm not gonna be telling them they're tired, they're this,
he
they're
looks
that.
so
They
gassed
played on
though.
Wednesday. What I saw is like we played very well in the first half. In my opinion, we created plenty of chances. Um, them as well, obviously. But then coming into the second half, it's like Inzaghi deliberately decided that he's gonna allow them to play. What I saw is that Darmian and DeMarco, they were pulled back to pretty much be in line with the back three, where it was not, they were no longer wing backs being in line with the midfielders. They were more in line with Skriniar and them, where it was like a back five. So that allowed Monza to bring pressure upon us. And eventually it looked like we survived their best. But personally, as an Inter fan, I can't sit there and and say I don't feel like they deserve at least a point from that game because the way Inzaghi approached that second half, I'm not impressed at all. Against Monza. Especially after the way we came out against Napoli. I would understand if we came out the first 15 minutes, we give it our best shot, we try to kill off the game, and then we go into that shape that we saw. But it seemed like almost immediately he was more than content with just allowing them to do their thing. And football guys, they if you play, they if you try, they usually reward you. And Monza earned a point today. I got no complaints. and I'm not gonna say that our boys were tired or whatever. Not yet, at least. It's literally the second match. Most of them were sitting on their asses anyway, not at the World Cup. So
Yeah, I don't know where to go with this team because they do like they shouldn't be tired. You're right, but the way that I don't know, maybe it's just they'd have no ideas. There was just nothing for me in the last 30 or so minutes when I was starting to start to set up for this, and I'm just watching and I'm like, man, if I'm in this lobby and I mean it's not recording, but still if I have to see my own reaction on this screen, that's gonna be tough. So the goal went in, I turned it on. But first half I enjoyed. In the second half, I mean it worked once against Napoli, starting to sit back, but that was I thought a more specific game plan. Um, I,
yeah, but
I don't think there
exactly
was as much
this
going into
was
this.
monster, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should be able to. You should be able to, defend against these guys. It miffs me sometimes. This team. I
I
mean,
mean, to be fair, that's what I'm saying. Like we did, despite all the possession that they had in the second half or whatnot, I feel like we did a good job defending against them. Like I don't remember they really created many dangerous chances, but the way that we conceded on some stupid stuff like Mkhitaryan trying to do a sombrero, losing the ball, right? That's really amateur stuff, Mikey, and that's why when stuff like that happen, personally, like that puts me at ease because that tells me that we just don't have a Scudetto winning side this year. Because little stuff like that, little mental side, mental errors, like come on, Mkhitaryan, you're a veteran. You know, what I mean, you've played for sides like Manchester United, Arsenal, and stuff like that. Come on, you should know how to kill off a game. You
I mean,
know,
it's very Arsenal, no? At least the time when he was there.
to be honest, not to shit on him, but he was one of the main reasons why we won last game against Napoli. But he has been that type of player. He's not a winner per se. He's played for big clubs or whatever, but he is who he is. But at the end of the day, like let's see if we could secure the top four. And if by any chance of the imagination, Napoli wants to have a meltdown, let's put ourselves in position to try to catch it. But right now, as far as saying that I expect us to be doing this, expect us to be doing that, not at all, bro. Not at all.
So is this the podcast's outlook now, or are we agreeing that like just top four is all we're looking for this season? Risto, what do
Um,
you think?
I mean, wasn't that the objective by the board before the season
I
started?
mean, they said be competitive or whatever. I mean, it was word salad. We knew it was word salad when they said it.
When the board, to me, at least in my FM safe, says it will be competitive, that means just don't be shit. Anything is acceptable. And even we said before the season started, like it's not possible to be competitive in other way except have Lukaku on and have him, play every single game throughout the season. Without him, we are like, who's gonna win the league? Who's gonna score goals? Dzeko is
Well,
not gonna
with
score
him
goals, and
even,
yeah, but
even
like
with
having
him.
Lukaku in his best form was the only way that we could be competitive for the Scudetto, and
Yeah.
he has barely played. So I think it's unrealistic for us to
no, I
even
mean,
talk about.
piggyback of what you're saying, Rich. So, like, our formula when we won the Scudetto was Lukaku and in the best form he's been in his career and a solid defense. These are two things that we literally don't have anymore. Lukaku's right now, he's a shell of himself. I don't even want to shit on him because we know what's going on, what he's been dealing with, but to Lukaku's gone and that defense has been shambles since preseason. You know what I mean? So and Inzaghi's been trying to fix that defense and still hasn't been
You
able to.
know, even when we started the podcast, when every single time that the Cardi drama was taking place, what we always said and we maintained the position was that there should not have been negotiations throughout the season. Sort that shit before the season starts and then chill for the rest of the season. Now, what's happening is that Inter and the management is negotiating with your best player, arguably, Skriniar, your captain, in the middle of the season when there should not be any distractions on and off the pitch. That's not helping. you're shit, you don't have a good team, and you're fucking yourself up even more than you should. I mean, like they're shooting themselves in the leg. There's nothing that they can do now to better the situation. I mean, you know the situation, just don't make it worse, and they did. So we can only sit here, cuss and discuss.
Cuss and
There's
discuss. I
nothing
like
that
that.
that's a good name. But yeah, like uh,
Yeah,
I
that's the
think,
title.
as Dave said,
And discuss.
Yeah.
as
Same
Dave
thing.
pointed out, like this season, I think even when we spoke, Mike, last episode, like I wasn't excited by the World Cup, and neither were you. And now Dave, the fucking guy that watched Inter match 3 times in a row, 3 times in a day. Like I would kill myself if I do that, and he does that. And he even didn't like the World Cup. So what
Nah.
can we expect from the season like that? Like the season so far has been shambles. Like we won against Napoli, yeah, I was happy, but it's Inter. You always leave room for disappointment,
I
and
mean,
sooner or later,
I think one thing we could say, bro, sorry to cut you off, is that Inzaghi's pretty much
no.
turned us into Lazio. You know, what I mean, that's what we are like now, right? At this point, we're Lazio. You know, at any given point, we can beat any team, but we can also lose to any team or draw to any team. You know what I mean? Like,
But it's Inter though.
I mean,
It's
but
like,
at the end of the day, like that's something that I always like to say, so I have to stick with it. I feel like a team always reflects its manager's personality. So if you have a manager that
I
has
mean,
scary in him, that panics or whatever when things get tough, and I mean, when
I
I'm trying my best to not be like pointing fingers or throwing people under the bus, because
oh please do,
hmm?
please
Uh,
do.
No, I mean I don't want to, because when you think about it, like it's a lot going on at the club, especially coming from the ownership down, you know. So they've all been like making the best out of the situation that hasn't been ideal, you know. So I got to give them that grace, you know, managers, directors, manager, and even players to an extent, because like you mentioned, Risto, we're negotiating with our best player and a guy that's wearing our captain's our armband. We don't know if this guy's gonna be our player in 2 weeks. You understand? So like how can you be serene and be focused on goals at hand and stuff like that? You know, so we're in shambles.
yeah, it does feel like it's hard for even players to get up for things right now because you don't know who's going to be gone. You don't know, anything with the situation with the club has been so up in the air for 2, 3 years almost now,
Yeah.
and you just can't maintain like that. We've reached that
Oh,
point.
good,
What were you gonna say?
good thing
I was
this,
just gonna be
good thing this
grease
is
eating.
the good thing this is the first time that Inter is negotiating with their captain in the middle of the season. Oh wait, it's not the first time. Okay, so
I mean,
um,
we'll know within
no,
the next few weeks. I think there's
Yeah.
going to be a decision made soon, and I think whatever the decision is, one way or another, it's going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, we
I
just
don't
need
think he's
clarity.
leaving.
But do you guys think that like if the club have offered him, have made him their best possible offer, like where do we go from there? Like, do we get upset like at him or whatever? Like, I mean, at this point, I don't even care for that anymore. I just need clarity, you know, because my main reason for wanting to hold on to Skriniar, by all means, is having us being a Scudetto competitive squad year in and year out, and maybe a squad that could probably catch lightning in the bottle and make a run in the CL or some shit like that. But if we're not gonna be that squad anymore, man, then you see they've been already shoving Scalvini down our throat like the next best young thing, Italian young back, young center back and stuff like that. You know, so they're already trying to get us ready for post Skriniar. So I kind of peep it a little bit.
Yeah, and there was
I
a
have him on
banner
my
that
FM save.
adds insult to injury. They put out the banner. They're like, "Oh, Skriniar, captain, stay," and then the
Yeah,
goal goes
you,
in.
you, you're the boss of Milano. Yeah, literally like 2 minutes before the goal goes in.
Yeah, that's classic. That is so
Oh my
classic. That
god,
reminds me of like anti-Icardi banners against
bro,
like
I don't know, bro.
RP, and then we like somehow lose those matches. It's same vibes. I mean, this is a draw. It's the first draw of the year. I mean,
Yeah,
which is pretty weird to be saying in January.
yeah.
This is just a weird team and a weird season and a weird ownership situation. And
You just
until
spread all
everything
around.
is sorted, yeah, until everything is sorted at the top, I don't. It's just spinning wheels.
And that awkward picture that you get every match of Steven Young and the stands all mad and stuff like he cares or whatever. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here. You
Yeah.
know, like
I think he
you
does.
get every match. You know,
Don't you think
how do
he
you guys
does?
feel about Dumfries on that second goal, bro? Like, because I don't know, like again, like I'm trying to stop myself from nitpicking, but like in a position like that, in a situation like that, you don't jump for the ball. You don't like what is he thinking, bro? He's literally flat footed and just lets the guy jump and go for the header. Whereas you're known for being one of our more athletic players. You could jump, you could do this, you could do that. You know, like I don't know. It just seems like this season, bro, like mentally we just don't have it.
Yeah, it looked like we might. I mean,
That's
the Lautaro goal was a great goal. I like the work on
No,
that.
that was a Lautaro goal. Exactly. That's straight individual brilliance right there. That's not something the team did or
Well, yeah.
whatever, you know. That's down to Lautaro in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought that was like the kind of work that Inter were putting in, at least in the first half, and it
Yeah.
was, that was when things were looking good. I guess we could talk about Lukaku and how he couldn't hold a ball to save his life.
I don't understand, bro.
That
Like,
was very bizarre, especially
yeah,
after he looked like he had started to put things together against Napoli.
yeah. I think that you could put that down to the whole old saying of like when you're coming in the middle of a game, it's kind of like trying to jump into a moving car, you know?
Yeah,
So it's like he never got up to pace. He never got up to speed with the game, with the intensity of the game. What that I keep forgetting the defender, the one that scored against us. He was bullying him pretty much, and he's not a big guy or anything like that. So something was off. And even when the ball was coming straight at Lukaku's feet, he just could not control it. So I don't know if it was nerves mixed with lack of form. He's looked bad. He's looked bad. He hasn't done himself any favors. And I don't know. I feel like it's only a matter of time before people start really putting the magnifying glass over him. Like, okay, guy, like at what point are you gonna start contributing?
I mean, at least we're getting to see him, and if this is what he is, then not to go back for this deal with Chelsea. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I can appreciate that because you gotta like all of this season was going to be a trial. It was like, can
Yeah.
Lukaku bring it back? And if he can, then we're going to have him play, and we're going to try to get him on loan again. But if he's not going to play, I mean, I don't know who we're going to get. I don't think Thuram's going to come.
Yeah, Thuram got too many suitors with money, and we don't have any money. I don't know, bro. You know what? Things are looking dire right now, but
We
but just-
witnessed one banter era. I don't think it'll go quite that deep this time, but it's definitely not a fully serious era of Inter that we're looking at right now.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Like it's gonna be up to Bippe and Osilio to turn water into wine again. Like as they've been always doing.
No.
But other than that, I don't see a path where we improve because like we got no money, like you're saying. It's gonna be those guys finding little loan deals here and there, or this guy's out of contract or whatever. We were trying to do it with Thuram, and seems like half of Europe has caught wind of that, and now Chelsea, out of all people, they are involved. So you just walk away from that table when like Chelsea just want any and every player. It's like this guy is literally playing Football Manager,
Yeah,
Is he
I mean, we really are
to
up
be wanted by
shit
everyone?
creek without a paddle. Oh, where you say, Harissa?
Is he that good to be wanted by everyone?
Um, I mean, he's a young, talented player. He could be serviceable to everyone. The thing with him is that not only can he play like that number 9 position, but he can also play like on the wing as well. So like he's a guy that's gonna have a place in the squad, in any top squad, in my opinion. Like whether you're a starter or not, that's something else. But he's a serviceable player. I definitely like him, and as we know, the quality of our league ain't the best. So with his space and power, I feel like he'd definitely be like a not quite Leao type of impact, but similar. Anybody with speed and power could make something happen in the league.
I mean, things aren't looking very bright at the moment. Um, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like,
I love all the stammering going on between all of us because it's just so, what is there? What
I'm
are we
trying to.
like? What is there to look at?
Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, since I'm usually the positive one, it's not all doom and gloom for me. I'm super disappointed in the fact that I kind of like expected it, like us to enter. We entered, so if anything, I'm expecting Napoli to Napoli. Milan's capable of Milan, you know what I mean? So I don't think anybody's gonna run away with it.
And Juventus.
It's gonna be tantalizingly close the whole time, and it's gonna be so frustrating.
Yeah,
that's where we're headed.
That's what I anticipate. So it's gonna be a matter of whether Lukaku could get himself going, and Brozovic, who's missed most of the first half of the season, that's gonna be another addition. Gosens, everybody's been raving about him. He looks to be picking form, and he was the star of the preseason. I mean, of the break or whatever. That's what I'm hearing. So I guess let's hope those players do turn it around and that we can get a run going. But this like, I guess the fact that we're recording this episode right after this result, the tone is not the best. But it's not all doom and gloom yet, especially mathematically. We're still in there. We're not even halfway through the season yet. So
we're not even halfway. Oh my god!
No, we're not. This was 16. This was round 16. We got literally 3 matches before we halfway. So there's plenty of football to be plenty, Mikey.
Oh my god! Can't wait for May.
It's a long ways. A lot of football. I mean, there's even a match, Coppa Italia, like Wednesday?
On Wednesday, Parma.
Jesus.
Yeah. I wonder how
that'll be at home. There's not going to be anybody there. Classic round of 16 Coppa Italia right there.
Yeah. Who do we play in the weekend next week?
Let me look. It's somebody not Visa or kind of Verona.
Oh, probably Verona. So yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't even care anymore because like just the same way I'm asking is the same way I looked at Monza and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we could get a little run going on.
Verona, then like right after that, flying to Saudi Arabia to go play the Super Copa against Milan, and then Empoli, Cremonese, and then Milan in the league.
Yeah. See, technically, it was set up for us to have a pretty good little run until we see Milan, but only we could fuck it up. You know what it feels like? It kind of feels like how we were all banking on how Milan had the hardest schedule than us in the season last year, and that they were gonna drop points, but we're the ones that ended up fucking up to Bologna, so
I can't count your points before they hatch or whatever they say.
Before they hatch, man. I've been guilty of that. I'm not even gonna lie, I've been guilty.
So I was guilty of it today. Yeah.
To be quite fair, like, is there any bright spot at the moment when it comes to like, I don't know, being excited about something?
Inter-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about life-wise, I guess.
I mean, Inter-wise, Lautaro looks good. I thought Gosens looked good when he came in. I mean, there are some guys that had some good individual performances. It was just things deflated late.
What do we think of Onana and his performances so far compared to Handanovic and his blunders throughout the season? Oh, Davies unmuting.
Oh no, I think he's been solid. To be honest, I think he's been solid. Like the first goal we conceded today was literally in the side netting. You know what I mean? So that's how precise the goal was. And in that header, it was like he couldn't really time it because it kind of went off Dumfries as well. You know, so the goals that he conceded today, I don't have any issues with. I feel like he made saves that probably Handanovic probably wouldn't have dove for today. So technically, as far as the goalkeeper goes,
Fair.
I'm satisfied. I'm happy with him. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, if your defense is going to leave you out to dry, I mean, what can you do? He makes the saves. I think he made some smart plays, even when they weren't saves. Like he kept one ball from going out for being a corner. I thought that was smart. Um, he's a decent, decent goalkeeper. I mean, when there's so many other structural problems, it feels there's some kind of other problem within the team that's like higher than just like a few players. It's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to just nitpick one guy and then like either praise him or like try to like rag on him. It's just tough.
I've never seen Dave so disappointed. Never in the time that we have been recording. Dave looks lifeless. He looks like I don't give a shit about anything anymore.
This team will do it to you, bro. Like it'll pick you up and then drop you right down on your face, bro. Like literally to Monza. Like and the fact that I saw it coming. That's why I'm so deflated. It's like I suffered through it the whole second half, and we never reacted. We just let him have it, let him have it, let him have it, and then eventually it looked like we survived. But then we decided to Mkhitaryan decided he wanted to give him one more chance, and they took advantage of it. Like why am I gonna keep getting myself upset or whatever about that? That's our identity this season. There've been plenty of moments just like that this season that we can go and point at. Against Milan, against Lazio, Juve, you name it, bro. At this point, like we can't keep denying it. Inter is showing us who they are, so we have to accept it and take it as it is.
Not to mention the fact that both Barella and Çalhanoğlu went out with injuries, and Brozic is already injured, so things
hopefully those
are
aren't
not
serious.
looking bright right now.
I mean, at least the next match, like you do have another match. Like, it's on Tuesday, not Wednesday. But I mean, Parma, they're in Serie B this year. I'm not sure where they are in those standings, but I mean, that's a game you should be able to win with like backups. I mean, I hope at this point, not counting. Well, that's not points. That's the Copa. I guess I'm not counting my advancement before it hatches. I don't know.
That's what I was about to say. There is no shit with this Inter. I don't know, bro. Like we have it in us. I mean, I'm sure we could look at Monza and say, like, yeah, this is a team we should be able to go beat. Like, should not.
Yeah, well, I remember struggling. I mean, there were matches kind of against those lower teams we struggled against last year. I mean, Empoli, we ended up winning. I remember there was another one. Not Verona. Venezia, when we went there, we struggled, but we got the win. I mean, there are just matches. This team, Monza drew Juventus or beat Juventus this season. They did one of the two.
They beat them. They beat them 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, Monza aren't the worst team in Serie A by any means, but still, you should be beating that team.
No, for sure. I mean, they're not your average newly promoted side because, I mean, as we know, like they spent a whole lot of money, more than we did, for sure. We sold them a bunch of our guys too, so we know they spent money to make sure that they could skip that step that that first year step that the newly promoted sides usually have. They try to skip that by making sure they purchase plenty of Serie A talent. So yeah, I guess they are not your average newly promoted side, but I'm not gonna give the guys a pass on that. Like you can't
Yeah,
lose your concentration and just give up a goal like that. It's
yeah,
unacceptable.
of course. I mean, I thought another positive. I thought our wing back play was very good. I've enjoyed that. That seems to be something they worked on in that break. A lot of runs coming from those sides, even when the ball doesn't go there. If you're watching, I mean, you see those guys making runs, and they're usually
Yeah,
dangerous. I think that's a positive if you keep that going forward. I mean, maybe this is a wake up call that was needed. I mean, I guess you could say that about every single bad result this
yeah.
season, and they have not woken up.
Now that you
Um,
mentioned that, Mikey, like I'm sure we could see the vast difference between Darmian, all the runs he was making in the first half. He ended up scoring the goal and stuff, and then in the second half, it was literally like I'm telling you, in line with our back three. Like it's like Inzaghi told him, "You're not a right wing back anymore. You're a right back now. Like just stay in line with the back three and allow that." Who's that guy that was playing on the left side for them? He was very good, very impressive. I forgot his name. I'm sorry,
Ah,
but
no, you're good. I'm not gonna
Danny
go
Mota, I
look. I
think.
don't want to
yeah,
repeat.
not important. But yeah, it seems like to me, like if I had to pick one culprit, it's Inzaghi because to me, he kind of folded and just allowed them to play for most of the second half, as opposed to just coming out like, okay, guys, you know what, we're 2-1, let's go and get that third goal, and then we could sit back and do whatever. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. I think he was a little overconfident in the way that his team could defend because they did against Napoli. Um, this team just doesn't have it the way that Conte's team did. I hate to make that comparison, and like those are two very different circumstances. But that was the manager that had this team where you could be 1-0 up and be like, or 2-1 up and be like, all right, you're not going to get past us. But every time, even against Napoli, like every time they came forward and we just dropped back into this shell, I felt like I could see the holes. Like I was like one ball over the top, and like that's gonna be it. You just got to find that right pass, and then Napoli couldn't find it, but Monza finds it. Um, it's football. I guess that's the best analysis. That's some cutting analysis from the Brothers of the World podcast, but that's football. At least with this team.
Owen-esque.
What was that?
Michael Owen-esque
I'm just gonna hit you with
discussion
it. If
and
my grandmother had two wheels, she'd be a bike
just
or whatever.
running.
Just gonna bring
She
out
would
all
have been a
the
bike.
That's what I need. None of this Inter stuff. Yeah,
It's
I
fun though.
mean,
It's fun.
we can't even talk about the January window because nothing's gonna happen. Like that's usually how we fill the next 20 minutes of air. Like we don't have that right now. I don't see any kind of loans or anything. The only thing I see is outgoing, and I guess that's gonna be it.
Yeah, I mean, the
Who do you
the,
think
the
is
only
going to
thing
go?
this the last thing this fan base needs right now is to hear that we can't renew Skriniar and we have to sell him in January. Like it will definitely catch fire in Milano. So I don't know. Like you said, Mikey, I don't. There's no January transfer window for us. We got no money. We're not buying any players. Um, there were rumors about Turam. Who else? There was that kid that we were interested in from Valencia, I believe, the American kid Musa.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
all those things, like it was probably just journalists trying to do clickbait because we know our situation. Like it's depressing, man. Like
Yeah,
then I
it's
get
hard for the journalists out here.
nobody's really spending money like that though. Who's really spending money like that in January in Italy? Think about it.
In Italy, nobody. I mean, it's just the Premier League. Maybe Juve do something, but I don't know if they're going to do anything with like all the investigations going on. I don't know if they just want to stay low key.
Yeah.
That's also something we'd be poking fun at if we
Their
wouldn't
team
have
is looking shit as well.
had this happen today. And they're also rolling right now, it seems.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine, investigation or not. Honestly,
Yeah, those are the only guys with the propensity to spend. I mean, if Milan are to spend, it's either going to be they sell someone or someone's going to go in the summer. I think that's pretty much the same case for everyone else in Serie A that's not bankrolled by the biggest family in the country. Makes it hard for the journalists, makes it hard for us. No one's making content off of this stuff right now. It just is what it is.
Yeah. They're just gonna make up stories. There's gonna be a lot of fake stuff to fall for. That's what it's gonna be.
All we can hope for is like a Kondogbia type situation where you get a Mr. X and he's going somewhere and then he doesn't go there and he goes somewhere else. That's gonna be something.
My gosh.
That's the only kind of thing that's gonna get dragged out this winter. It's gonna have to be stories like that. It's gonna have to be stories like Malcolm, because nothing concrete is actually happening.
Hakimi liking comments of Inter players, oh he's back, oh he isn't.
He's been doing that forever now. I mean, I don't blame him, but like, I mean, why do you want to come back to this tire fire, bro?
Why not? For the fun of it. I mean, why did Lukaku leave fucking Chelsea and competing for the Premier League?
Because what else was Lukaku gonna do? I guess
chilling in the Premier League.
Lukaku mainly attached to the World Cup. You know, he wanted to come somewhere that he knows he could do well, that he's done well previously, so he could catch his best form before the World Cup. And you know that injury kind of threw a wrench in all of that and derailed all of it. You know, so that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of worried going forward, because it's like, okay, what's gonna be his motivation now? What is he been motivated about to give us his best? You know, like he could just go back to London and collect his fat ass salary till the rest of his career. You know, like I don't know.
There has to be a competitive spirit left.
Yeah, but
I mean,
it doesn't seem like he can do what he wants to do physically anymore because he's been doing it for so long. That's how I see it.
He's not even 30 yet.
But he's been playing since what, 17?
Yeah.
Like,
I think he
made
a long time. His national debut at 16.
16, something like that. He was a teenager. He was still in like Algebra 1 when he started this. Tough, I guess. I don't know even in the summer what we can do if we're just going to be hands tied with Dzeko, Correa, Lautaro up top. I mean, there's going to have to be at least one other player coming in, but who knows where that's going to happen? It's way too far off to even speculate. I'm just kicking at rocks here, trying to find something about this team right now.
There isn't, and there isn't
project at a standstill again. I mean, these are all the things we've been hearing since.
What?
Like, what do you mean? I mean, what?
What did you say? Stadium what?
Oh, stadium project hit standstill again. I mean, it's the same stories that we've had for like 5 years now. Yeah, I know that there's something like the mayor doesn't want San Siro torn down, and Italian politics, man. There's nothing we can do about that. Yeah, even like looking at news, like I just pull up Google News, enter, and there's just nothing new, nothing juicy. It just is what it is.
You fishing for Inter news, Mike?
Yes, I'm literally like.
But yeah, I think the bet with the stadium situation is to move, you know, because like I think most knowledgeable people, at least, have been saying that this was going to be this last straw. That it's finally going to go through or whatever. It looks like they're trying to dig us around some more. So it's time for us to just move it to the next location. We lost Risto.
Yeah, I was about to say Risto. I guess that was the final straw for him. We'll give him a few minutes to come back. I think hitting 40 minutes after a result like this is pretty decent. Okay, he is back. If he'll load in. Okay, yeah.
True, man.
You traded places with Dave on the screen. Hello. Yeah, I
I'm
was
just too
saying.
excited to trade places.
Well, for
Yeah.
some reason, you're more clear now. Like I see you better. I hear you better.
The internet has been fucking me up. I don't know why it's lagging for me. Like when I say something, I wait for like 3 seconds for your response and for you to hear me. But
Oh,
it is what it
usually
is,
it's
I
coming
guess.
through pretty decent, but yeah, I guess. But I was saying to Dave, I mean, 40 minutes on this is pretty decent. If there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, you can hit a couple more notes and then um, I don't
I
know,
can
watch some other
talk shit
sport.
like this for the rest of the day.
There's just gonna be a lot of dead air, at least from me. I think I've said everything I can say about this team at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is what I've been saying. Like it doesn't look good, but let's not give up hope. Anything could happen. Hopefully we can get lucky and get hot and go on a run. But for now, it's not looking good. Let's keep up hope.
I mean, anything's possible. The season doesn't end till June this year, so we have a little bit longer than even usual.
Not even halfway there, like. So
Yeah,
it's too
it
much
feels
fun.
very wait and see right now. Like we don't know where this season's gonna go yet, even as we're in January.
No, I
Um, there's so many places this could go. There's still a Champions League round of 16 against Porto. I mean, you're talking about possibly a quarterfinal with this team. Oh,
Yeah.
the second leg is the day before my birthday. Oh God. There's so much that can happen with this season. Even if you just make a Champions League run, I mean, that could change a little bit of your finance woes, just even for a window. Maybe that gets you one player or something. I don't know.
Shit, right now it's not even about getting players, Mikey. It's about getting to keep players.
That also, yeah.
If we make a deep Champions League run, maybe we get to keep this player.
Or that they just get put in a shop window further, and that's who we end up selling for twice the money.
Yeah, maybe we get to keep him for this window. That's pathetic, bro. Like something's got to change. Like PIF, somebody, come on, guys.
Tough
Like we are suffering.
goings right now. I'm suffering, but like, yeah, I haven't lost hope. It's just I'm not getting hopes up. I'm just letting it ride, man. You gotta let it ride this season. If not, you're gonna have a bad time. You just gotta let it ride this season.
Yeah.
What do you think, Christo?
I'm just excited. I'm just excited this season ends in 5 months. So
5 months.
fingers crossed.
Look at the standings right now. Well, at least not for nothing, we're comfortable in fourth. We now have a 4-point. I mean, Lazio have a game in hand. We're 1 point clear in fourth.
Are we comfortable?
Relatively, I mean, it's Lazio and Roma behind us.
By 1 point.
And Atalanta, I don't anticipate any of those guys turning it
from
around.
us tomorrow, right? We could be 5th or 6th tomorrow. Right?
No, we're 4
my
points
God.
clear right now. This is all. It's
We're
whatever.
4 points clear of Lazio.
Yeah, we're 4 clear of Lazio. Lazio are on 30. We're on 34.
Okay.
Lazio have lost 2 straight.
I guess that's the positive of the episode.
Yeah, that's all we got. 4th place. This is going to be 2017-18 over again, or 18-19 over again.
We're still going to manage to need a last minute game to secure it. Watch.
Wait, who are we playing on the last match day? Who is that game?
You already know. It's got to be Empoli. No, I'm just playing.
Torino away.
That's one of those spoilers.
Is it?
They're perfect in position.
Torino away. Usually we end the season at home. That's a trend that's being bucked this season. Yeah, we have Empoli coming up, actually, speaking of. That's right after the Supercopa.
Oh, my. We're playing Sassuolo again at the end of the season. 4th match.
Oh, yeah, that ending
like
run. Oh, my
season.
God. The last – this is so ridiculous looking this far ahead, but 1, 2, 3, 4. The final – let's say 7 matches. This is rough. Lazio, that's at home. Verona away. Roma away. Sassuolo at home. Napoli away. Atalanta at home. Torino away to end the season. This is like the Milan run of last year where we were like, all right, they're about to drop points. Tough nuggies, I guess. What are we doing, man?
We can
I'm
only
still
move
excited
forward
though
to
for.
the
I mean,
Coppa
there's still trophies out there to be had, even if it's not a Scudetto. I mean, you back up your Coppa Italia. We know Inzaghi's a cup coach at this point in his career, at least.
the
So
Champions
Copa,
League as well.
Supercopa, Champions League. I mean, I've definitely gotten up more for Champions League matches this season than I have league matches. I guess those have been the best memories of the season. So we got at least 2 more of those coming up.
That's a silver lining, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit of bonus football. I don't know, Porto, they could probably on their day. I mean, if we can draw with Monza, anything's possible.
Point is a point.
A point is a point. Yeah, I mean, Giovanni over here said something interesting. Yeah, rather have tied Napoli and won today. I mean, what if? I mean, that's hypotheticals, but yeah, we did get 4 points from these 2 matches.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, how you get the 4 points. Well, I feel like had we tied Napoli, then there would have still been 10 points ahead. You know, so us taking down Napoli 3 points, they kind of reopened the Scudetto race. So I kind of disagree there. You know, like I don't want Napoli with a double-digit lead ahead at the top of the Scudetto race, even if we're not the ones chasing them. You know, so that's why I'm glad we beat them. It kind of brings the pressure on them, and we're going to see how they deal with it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure is more on them from the likes of Milan and Juve right now, which, I mean, I would rather Napoli win than either of those 2 at this point. We don't need another Juve run, and I don't need another Milan Scudetto.
That is true.
So, I mean, tough again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we squeeze enough of the lemon, as much juice as we can after a result like this.
47 minutes. That's nothing to scoff at with nothing really to talk great about.
Yeah. Hopefully,
It's it.
Pepper Parma, and then give us something to actually pay attention to going into the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll try to go again after Verona. Hopefully, we get two wins in the upcoming week. I think if we start to set things straight, we've got to set things straight like Inter does in the next couple of weeks, because you do risk if we lose another one of these matches and then something like terrible like Skriniar goes, then this club's in free fall. And I just we need to try to not have that happen. Had plenty of those seasons in the past. Don't want another one, even though it's very possible. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Ta-da. Christo, I'll let you get first parting words, and I'll let Dave have parting words, and then I'll play the outro, even though I didn't play the intro because meeting of John. But yeah,
it's a miracle that we didn't win, and it's a greater miracle that we are on. We're alive. We're talking about Inter after what happened after the Monza match. So if that miracle can happen, then the miracle of Inter winning the Scudetto can also happen until the end of the season. So nothing is lost. Nothing is doom and gloom. I've always said that when everything seems down and like nothing is going your way, Inter somehow manages to squeeze a few wins, get everyone on board, and the morale just goes up. I don't know how they're managing to do it, but they'll do it. It is happening for as long as I can remember. So it will happen again. Like next few weeks, win and everyone's on board. Juventus and Milan will drop points, and all of a sudden we're in second place. Oh, we're winning the league, and all on board again. So nothing is lost yet, and keep your hopes up as always.
Very wise. Leaned into the camera and everything.
Risto
Very fireside chat of you.
tried his best to get some positive stuff to get, and you could see the cringe on his face. You know, he's not used to it. I'll feel the same way. It wasn't the best of results, especially coming off a Napoli match that really looked like it was going to springboard us into trying to make a run at the Scudetto again. This is really a momentum crasher. But like Risto said, this team is so unpredictable. We could go on another run of results, and then with the other teams having tougher matches than we do, we can be closer than we thought we would be when we look up at the table. So let's just put our heads down, keep working, keep trying to improve the squad, and hopefully we're where we need to be when we look up at the table.
Yeah, I mean, just strap in for the roller coaster this season. I don't think it's going to change. We are going to see a lot of ups. We're going to see more downs. You know, it's wait and see right now. It's January. The season is usually decided for us in about March, April. I mean, there's still months of games to play and a lot of games to play. And so, I mean, as things come, we'll have plenty more to talk about. And we'll make sure to be back. Even if it's, you know, a little bit shorter like this right now, we'll be back. I know Matthias said you guys are alive. Yeah, barely hanging on by a thread. But we're here, and yeah, we're going to try to keep on trucking. We'll see what happens. But thanks, everyone, if you make it to this point. It's not the most wonderful feel-good podcast of the day, but, you know, just good to be back. Good to be on. Good to see you guys. And, yeah, we'll see everyone in the next one.
Fuck Gagliardini, never forget.
Word. I don't think that one came through, but I'm going to leave you on that one.